Now to an I-Team exclusive.
Squatters taking over homes, trashing a Kansas City neighborhood.
Right now, it really don't matter who it belongs to, because there's a crime going on. You guys go to crime scenes. This is a crime scene. Come on.
It's an ongoing problem that's been happening for years.
Despite multiple complaints to the city, people who live in this neighborhood said they couldn't get anyone to help. That is until I-Team reporter Jessica McMaster got involved.
That's why it's the best right now, but they got a dog.
No, you can't get tough in the window, sir.
Well, I'll get tough in your face if you want me to, but it ain't like that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I don't have time for
You're welcome. Come on.
It's just another day for Pat Clark. He's the president of the Oak Park Neighborhood Association.
So now we do know it came from him that this is a landfill.
No, it's not a landfill.
It might as well be, because that's what you see in a landfill.
Like I said,
Squatters taking over homes.
And look, now they want to run. You know, it's 8, 9, 10, 11 people in there.
Nobody who's staying here owns these houses.
No.
They're squatters.
Look, you call them what you want to, but by law, that's what they call squatters.
Trash spilling over from the backyard to the porch and onto the front lawn at this home on South Benton Avenue on the city's east side.
Look, I guess they would call this stuff collector's items, you know, because it's out in the yard.
Barbara Johnson lives next door. She's the one who reached out to the I-Team for help, saying her complaints to the city over the years haven't led to a resolution.
This is what I live with, and I've been living with this since 2018.
Those are flies you see on your TV screen. They swarm the area. A one-time professor at UMKC, Johnson has lived at this home for 56 years. In the past, the city received 8 complaints over the trash at this home. Johnson says she doesn't understand why it's allowed to continue.
They would never permit it if we were Ward Parkway or even homes. This would never happen if it were anything but this community. But this is rampant here now.
No, it doesn't happen on the other side of truce, you know?
The problem, according to Clark,
enforcement.
But it all stems from a much more complex issue.
We have a homeless problem, and everybody knows it. But, you know, when you're homeless and have nowhere to go, when that bridge gets too cold, that water gets too deep, this is where you end up.
The I-Team watched several people leave from the property next door to Johnson. We also found squatters living in the house a couple doors down. Clark and Johnson want the city to step up.
Help me help myself. You know, come out and help me.
We looked into the property here and found it's owned by an out-of-town LLC, which can create problems for the city when it comes to enforcement. We also contacted the city and watched what happened just 4 days after we let them know what's going on.
Police and city codes.
Codes and enforcement showed up along with Kansas City Police.
I just need you to go ahead and grab anything that you have that is of importance, and then just go ahead and leave the property and not return.
They kicked the squatters out and told the manager of the property to clean up, then board up the home. But the city doesn't always have the power to do this, says KCPD officer Greg Smith.
We have to have consent to be on the property from the owner or the property manager, or we have to have a search warrant or some type of emergency circumstances.
Officer Smith says this part of town is particularly vulnerable to squatting.
There's just more vacant houses over here, particularly over here in East Patrol. So, you know, the homeless is going to gravitate to where the vacant houses are because, you know, apparently when the house is occupied, you know, they won't be in them.
Codes and Enforcement Supervisor Tamara Mills says the only reason the city is able to tell the squatters to leave is because there are no working utilities on the property. Usually, she says, her hands are tied.
It's extremely irritating because this is the norm, it seems like it's becoming, you know, every day, and this, especially in this particular area.
Who owns the property also creates issues when it comes to enforcement, according to city spokesperson John Bacala.
This particular property is owned by an out-of-town LLC. They are the bane of the city's existence.
Records show the LLC for this home is located in Illinois. LLCs are supposed to leave a local contact for the city to get in touch with, but Bacala says more often than not, that doesn't happen. According to city records, more than 14,000 homes across Kansas City are owned by out-of-town LLCs.
And we have out-of-town LLCs in the other 49 states and about a dozen foreign countries. So when they don't leave us a local contact person, things escalate.
In this case, there is a local contact which allowed the city to move forward. We spoke with the manager of the property. His first name is Paul. He wouldn't give us his last name.
The company that owns this, have they been aware of this situation, and for how long? We did an eviction on them this year, like a couple of months ago.
Paul wouldn't acknowledge the issue's been going on for years, but he does have a message for the squatters.
Stay out, because we're after you.
Paul tells us the house will be cleaned up and boarded within 2 days. Johnson, who looked out on her front porch as the squatters were told to leave, says she's waited years for this moment, but that she's disappointed it took the news getting involved to get a resolution.
I appreciate it so much because now that you guys have shown up, oh, thank you.
Mill assures Johnson the city will keep an eye on things next door from here forward.
You have my word. I will make sure that all of this mess is gone.
Well, thanks for the prayer.
How do you hear about that, what she just said right there?
I love it. I love it. This is better. This is a whole new beginning. When Alan came Friday, I was saying, oh, okay. So preservation might mean us too, in this neighborhood.
The trash has mostly been cleared out from the property, and if you look over here by the windows, those are boarded up. Now, when the city came out earlier, they did bring with them a social worker to help connect the squatters with housing. In KCMO, I'm Jessica McMaster, 41 Action News.